Hello and welcome back to the Portland Files on Variant Roles. I am the GM for the evening, Adam, and I will be leading us on this wonderful adventure of who knows what's going to happen tonight. I am joined by my fantastic cast, who I will let introduce themselves, starting with Nick.
Hello, I am Nick. I play Percy, the PI who speaks to ghosts. And which aspect would you like today, Adam?
Let's go with what did you do during your minor advancement?
During my minor advancement, I bumped up fists and lowered discipline, as it seemed like that's the direction Percy was going.
Okay. Very, very cool. Moving on to Selena.
Hello, my name is Selena. I play Nikki, our a werewolf. That's totally fine. Everything's cool. I actually got rid of craftsmanship and upped my deceit 1. So, with my minor advancement, so I'm a slightly better liar than I used to be.
Yes. Not that speaks about the group at all.
No.
Needing to be good at lying might be helpful. Continuing on, we move to Zach.
Hey, I'm Zach. I'm playing Andy. We both use he, him pronouns. My minor advancements, I dropped fists and picked up scholarship because that seemed important for Andy.
So no more fisticuffs for Andy. Maybe he's getting a little...
Yeah. He was getting in so many fights anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 weeks ago.
Listen, that's what magic's for.
Yes, we will see if fisticuffs become necessary all of a sudden. It would be a terrible shame if suddenly a wizard had to be good at fist fighting. Oh no. But let us move on to Danielle.
Hi everybody, I'm Danielle, and I will be playing Harmony Ward. Evolved one of my aspects, and I think I might be the only person who did this. So I took my Earned Summer's Ire aspect and changed it to a little favor never hurt anyone, or a little deal never hurt anyone.
Yes, which as a GM is still making me smile because it's such a great character choice change. I love it. I love it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see that definitely won't have bad consequences.
You are welcome in advance.
So, rounding out tonight's party is CJ.
Hi, everyone. I'm CJ. I'm at Commander Pulsar on Twitter and Twitch. I'm playing Cole Trickle. I use he, him pronouns. Cole uses he, him pronouns unless he is using glamour to look like a girl or a non-binary or whatever. So he can be gender fluid. That's fine. During my minor advancement, I didn't change anything because Cole's practically perfect in every way. And I'll just go ahead and roll deceit on that.
Yeah.
No, I've made some plans, but I'm okay with where everything is. So see how it goes.
I don't know why that is. Well, tonight we will not be joined by Natalie. Cassara is off doing something. We'll see what later. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's perfectly fine.
Totally. Mm-hmm.
I think the scenes when somebody comes back from a break are so wonderful. So we should just go away more often, just because all kinds of weirdness happens.
Yes, she definitely won't be in the middle of a fiery building. Anywho, we are playing the Dresden Files RPG, and last week some stuff happened.
Mm-hmm.
We opened with Cassara being confronted by another White Court vampire in Portland by the name of Annabelle Malvora. They had some words and had some social combat, or a social conflict, as they like to call it in Fate, where they exchanged social maneuvers. Eventually, Annabelle relented because she was kind of trouncing Kisara. Although Kisara wasn't putting up much of a fight, but that's okay. We'll see where that leads. And we jump cut to Harmony and Kisara being in the lab. They were happy in the lab. They were looking at things. They were trying to research this weird tablet of and where it was coming from. And Harmony learned a few things about its provenance, and that it kind of it was found near what is now the border of present day Kuwait and Iraq, but that it's likely that it came from further upstream in the rivers, maybe near Bangladesh or excuse me, not Bangladesh, Baghdad. I have different geography on the mind from different reasons. Baghdad, or maybe somewhere in that area. And that the company, Sargon Industries, inside of Portland, was the one that paid to ensure that the tablet arrived safely in Portland, and that it was actually assigned to Harmony as part of a research grant that she was chosen specifically. She wasn't really sure why, despite the fact, I guess she is one of the leading experts in translating old things, mostly because she cheats and uses magic. That's okay.
Girls gotta
And yep, perfectly legit. It's definitely no rules of magic against using magic to get yourself some money. And while they were having just the most wonderful time, they were attacked by a zombie and his necromancer, who called himself a child of Kemmler. And those in the know of the Dresden File universe chat players, cast players, were freaking the hell out, which was part of the reason why I did that. And they had a bit of a scuffle, but the scuffle ended quite abruptly when another thing entered the fray and very easily and very simply broke the neck of the necromancer, thus ending the zombie's life and the necromancer's life all in one go. The group, Kisara and Harmony both, realized that they were now facing a Black Court vampire, which was terrifying because Black Court vampires in the Dresden verse are straight up like Dracula, mean, nasty, full of pain. And before we could resolve that, we jumped away because that's how Adam rolls. And so we returned to the rest of the group, getting back to the Never Never after having spoke with the druids. A druid. And since all of them, maybe not metagamey, but slightly, were like, where's Kisara and Harmony? Maybe we should help them as soon as possible. So they went looking for Harmony and Kisara. So we jumped back to the combat, where it turns out Black Court Vampire wanted nothing but to talk. Well, it didn't want to talk. Whatever sent it wanted to talk, to Harmony specifically. And there inlaid a conversation that happened between Harmony and this so-called Niccolo, who knows who that is. And promises were made and maybe threats, ? Not really sure what's going to happen there. And we cut to the group coming back together as oh my God, what happened? And then we kind of went to break, I believe. And we came back with Percy and Cole went off to investigate shit on their own, as Percy and Cole are wont to do. And they went looking for a Summer Court Dryad, who is also living around the same park that Gil, the Summer Court contact, was living. And they figured out that the last elf who was missing from the Summer Court was taken around a park known as Lincoln Park, although Callista said that it was the Park of the Penny, which later turned out to be Lincoln Park. That makes sense. And so they were investigating that. Whereas Nikki, Kisara, and Harmony had a girls' night out at Al's. and they asked Al many questions. Didn't get a lot of answers because they were not ready to give answers. And so they got a few things for not free, but definitely almost maybe kind of on loan. So we'll see what happens there. And last, Andy had a conversation with Rashid, the gatekeeper, who seemingly showed up to talk to Andy after it was revealed to Andy that Rashid was preparing him for something momentous, as one of his aspects says so. And Rashid dropped the bombshell of he knew how Andy's parents had died, and that they were murdered, assassinated by Red Court vampires. That pretty much brings us up to speed, though I will say Percy and Cole did figure out that the footage for the security cam that was pointed at Lincoln Park currently resides in Portland PD's headquarters, so who knows what will happen about that. So, gang, where do we start tonight?
I don't know, man. This is crazy.
I bet not with a daring break into the Portland PD.
So I have a bad idea.
That's where we start.
Hey!
Break in, you wound me, sir.
So I have this ability called I Know Just the Guy. I am looking for information. How possible would it be that I know a Portland police officer who is of variable morals?
So why don't you roll contacts, and you will know someone that will help. As part of that stunt, you in fact know a person. But I will say, based on how well you do on your contacts rolls, it will be what level this person will be at to be helpful.
Okay. I believe the ability gives me a +1. I'm willing to eschew the +1 for the other thing that you gave me, though. So.
I'll say it can still give you the +1. That's fine.
Ah, good.
Ooh.
Ah, good. So that's a -3. So that would be an overall of a 2.
Fake question mark?
However, I am a reformed PI. This is what I do.
Yep.
So please take this fate point.
Thank you.
And let's try this roll again. Not too much better, but it is a -1, which would bring us to a 4 overall, which I think is enough for me to stand.
So
Yeah.
four's pretty good. In fact,
Four is in fact
four
great.
is great. Yes, exactly. So I would say that you don't know who you don't know a senior member of the police department. I don't think that's a great, but you definitely know a grizzled desk sergeant that's been there for a bunch of years, is probably only 2 days away from retirement perpetually, and just kind of doesn't. He cares about the law, but he also cares about his pocketbook a little bit. And yes, as Dan said, he's too old for this shit. So you are able to cajole him into helping you. I will say with that roll, you will be able to secure a copy of the security footage.
Oh.
Okay.
Ah.
So said.
Working within the law. Yay.
Didn't know.
I don't know about that, but
I believe bribing police officers might be as bad as just breaking into the police station and taking it.
However,
Also, the officer sharing evidence.
I will
Yes.
say that it
I'd say
does
much.
one of your charges or one of your touches of that stolen money you have. So I'm pretty sure you have 2 left, if I remember correctly.
Probably
1 or 2.
Yeah, I've used it for one, and
that's 2.
Cole's used it, I think, right?
No.
Could I use my own money with
The
resources 3?
the level of bribe, I mean,
No is acceptable.
Don't worry
I'm
about
fine
it.
dipping in.
yeah,
Don't worry about it.
I think
Let
the
it
level
go.
of bribe. I think the level of bribe you would need to like make this worth it.
Let it go.
Is gonna be a stolen money tax.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm
let it go.
perfectly fine with
Trust
that.
me, easy come, easy go. More
We'll
can
fi-
be acquired.
We'll
Easy
find more
what?
money.
What? What's that? What?
It was just a whole shorter thing that what I was going to do was just, go in and find out who was supposed to be going through these tapes, just impersonate them, and then ask for them at the equipment and the
Well,
evidence
now we have
locker.
now we have a full copy. So that
Yeah,
works.
so this saves me a lot of work, which I'm fine with.
Plus, Johnson's a good dude. He could use this money.
Sure. I'm a good dude. I could use the money.
All right. Sergeant Johnson, it is. Sergeant Johnson, it is. I'll add him to
Played
Portland PD.
played by Daniel Glover.
Okay.
All right. So you have a copy of the security footage. What would you like to do?
Well, we can't use it around
Use
the
it around
wizard.
the wizards.
Exactly.
There's a VCR at the garage.
Are we using
What format is this in?
I was gonna say it's probably DVD.
It is actually HD DVD because the Portland PD department got free HD DVDs, but then that technology went out of style, and so they still have it, but they can't afford to upgrade out of it.
This is too
that's
much real
amazing.
life.
Great. Oh yeah. Here's all the evidence you need. It's on a Sony mini disc.
Yep,
You got a player for that, right?
it's on Betamax.
I'll just pop that in my Zune.
Laser disc.
So yeah, you have to get your hands on an HD DVD player.
Ooh.
If I remember
Okay.
correctly, PS3s play HD DVDs, so that should be easy to find, right? Right?
Hey, obsolete tech, it'll work around us, right?
I mean,
okay. PS3s are not that obsolete. Richard.
I know.
yeah, I mean, you're probably right there with ColecoVision, Andy. I mean, that's
Yeah, fair. He's seen all of them.
Yeah, Dresden doesn't even have a TV. You don't have a PS.
Yeah, no. I didn't figure.
His radio has a hard time working.
Sam, I'll be lucky if the radio works.
on the other hand. I mean, I could probably find something to play this with fingers in a couple of pies and craftsmanship of 3. I might be able to cludge something together.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
go for it. Do it.
Craftsmanship seem reasonable?
Yep.
All right, let's see what we get.
Definitely jury rigging some stuff to make a HD DVD player.
All right, I've got a plus and a minus, which is a good result. If that'll work, that'll work. If I'm getting a really bad picture, I've got a fate point to blow, I suppose, on fingers in a couple of pies to get parts or something.
I'll say if you spend the fate point to get it up to a 5.
Yeah. Done. Sold.
That'll be good enough. The superb result will make it. It's still a little grainy, but it's probably maybe a little grainy not because your HD DVD player isn't working correctly. It's just that the camera might not be great.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you guys are able to. You folks are able to watch minus the wizards.
I was gonna say.
are able to watch the footage, and you kind of zip through the various time periods and kind of like go to the day that you know the elf was definitely last seen, and you're watching, and you are able to see a very blurry, fast-moving object tackle the elf, push it into the ground, holding it down, and you see this struggle in basically happen.
I mean, like as slow as I can, right?
Yeah.
To catch this fast moving thing.
And it's even at the slowest speed possible. This blur is a blur. It's still a blur. It's moving beyond human perception, and so the fact that you can slow it down is the only reason you can see the blur happen. And it and the elf collapses. You see them try to struggle to reach a weapon or like attack the person, and you see them like struggle for a little bit and then kind of go limp, and then they just lay there and they're tied up relatively easily. And what you see, because they kind of turn towards the camera as they lift them up, and some people come in and like bag the elf and move out, is you see a woman, probably 5'8", 5'9", dark black hair, moderately nice looking, kind of wearing no nonsense clothes, not really business casual, but not really like jeans, maybe like some kind of khaki ensemble.
But not like tactical gear or anything.
But not like tactical gear.
Yeah.
And none of you have ever seen her before.
That's weird. Who the
Hey,
hell-
Cole, can you enhance?
I'm not sure that's how that works,
Can you
but
enhance?
no, I don't think so.
Yeah, hang on.
Stick a magnifying glass to it.
I use glamour to make the screen appear bigger, but not any more clear. How about that?
I will say, with your superb role of making this thing work, you can print pictures, but you cannot enhance.
Well, printing the pictures will at least allow the wizards to see this. So.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say let's.
Was there anything on the people who were bagging the elf? Any recognizable markings or anything like that?
No, those people seem to just be wearing nondescript clothing as well.
Okay.
A little bit darker colors, like things that would not stand out at night, but it wasn't like they were wearing tactical gear. They were not
Okay.
dressed in military fatigues or anything like that. It was just they were wearing dark colored jeans, maybe like a dark jacket.
Okay.
No Yara logos? Oh, sad.
Exactly.
You did not see any Yara logos.
I know. I didn't expect to.
Me neither.
I don't know what the
Nikki.
Sargon logo looks like, so.
Yeah.
Nikki, Cole, I'm a little bit newer to this, but the only thing I know that moves very fast and then looks like a human is a vampire. Am I wrong on that? Or is there more that I should be
No.
worried about?
Yeah,
There's lots of things that can move fast and look human.
Okay.
There's levels of moving very
Yeah.
fast. There's
I can move fast in my human form pretty easily.
Can you move that fast?
No.
A werewolf pack. And she didn't, yeah, I'd recognize her. So,
I mean, I know folks that can move faster than humans. I know folks that make those people look like humans compared to them. There's a
yeah.
there's a spectrum.
I get it. I'm slow, but
People, Usain Bolt, these guys, Usain Bolt to them, and then yeah.
Usain Bolt as magic Usain Bolt.
Pretty much, yeah.
I just, with everything we already found, and then the way this attack happened, it's just screaming vampire to me.
It very well could be a vampire. Vampires move very fast. but
I mean,
He went limp there? Hold on, rewind that. Show me that
oh
again.
wait,
Is that how that works? Is that
Could be.
the you know, the sucky
I
whammo thing that they do?
no.
you can make
White Court.
somebody go limp by choking them out. You don't have to drain their blood.
Yeah, and most vampires don't do that. As far as I know, I think only Black Court does that. I'm not super familiar with like the houses and such, but I heard Black Court is like Dracula.
They all eat
That-
something.
Yes. But it could be a White Court, maybe? I don't know.
Like I said, Morgan and his goons were doing this to Malks. I don't see why they wouldn't be doing this to elves too.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, before we go inventing, I think we have enough people that we're worried about rather than go inventing new ones.
Yeah.
So, out of character question for whoever can answer it first. What's our TV anchor head vampire's name?
Welker.
Thomas Welker.
Thomas Welker.
Walker.
I suppose if we wanted to, we could bring this picture to Welker and see if he recognizes her.
Sure. I mean, we've
Let's
already got
talk to-
one of them beheaded this week.
Let's talk to Andy about this first, because he has already made contact with him, and they have a somewhat copacetic relationship.
You're
I
right.
cannot go talk to him. I
I mean,
cannot talk to him.
I
I
could
will
just-
die.
You can't talk to Andy?
No, I can't talk to Thomas.
Oh, well, fair. I mean, I could. I just
you-
don't wanna.
Exactly. Andy already has a relationship with him. So let's go talk to them and try to plan from there.
All right,
Oh,
let's print
I'm
out
sure
as
he'll be
many
excited.
stills as we can get here and go see him.
I'll say that's easy to do. Although
Just make a flip book of the whole video.
not quite. You can't quite do that because near the end of printing and things, the tech, the jury rig kind of like breaks down and stops.
It's probably a one-time. Yeah, I mean,
You kind of get like the little pinwheel of death.
Decide what you-
but not the trademark version, so we don't get in trouble with it.
I mean, just print out what you can. I ain't made of money.
I was
Printer ink's
joking.
expensive.
I was joking. It was a joke.
Toner,
an out of
real
character
enemy
joke.
of the campaign. So you guys head with your flip booky pictures to see the wizards. So wizards, how's it going?
Great.
Great, totally fine.
Yeah.
Not
Super.
freaking out at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine unless she sought me out, Andy probably after Rashid leaves tries to get a hold of Harmony, like sees if she's home or waits until he hears her next door or something.
Yeah, and I went with the group to see Al, but I probably come back after like an hour or so. So you would probably hear her footsteps on the door on the stoop of the duplex.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd probably drop you off or something.
Yeah.
He would have waited until you got in, not ambushed you on the front step, but eventually come to knock.
Yeah, and I open the door, and you can see that all of my magical notes are spread out over my coffee table, essentially, as I try to figure out what the heck I'm going to do to protect this tablet better.
Always with the research everywhere.
Well, I wouldn't be much of a college professor, or a wizard for that matter, if I didn't like research.
Hey, no judgment. My book outline notes are all over my living room most of the time. Well, we should talk about wards, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to make a little bit of progress on that front. I'm guessing that my current wards are not going to be substantial enough to hold off necromancers showing up on my doorstep.
Depends on the strength of the necromancer, probably, but we can take a look. So he starts to spout off a bunch of stuff about words that Andy knows that Zach doesn't.
Sure.
Harmony takes notes.
So yeah, you both would being actually Wizards of the White Court or White Council rather White Court. Ha! Whoops.
Ooh!
Spoilers.
Same thing.
White Council level wizards. You know that wards come in a variety of flavors. Some are warning wards, like a ward flame kind of idea, where it warns you of a certain approach and you have something attached to the ward flame. The most basic ward is essentially reflection of energy. So if you were to walk into the ward, a ward would shove you back. If you were to cast a spell at the ward would throw the spell back at you. And this is the very stereotypical kind of landmine-y ward where it's like you step on it and it blows you up. And it essentially just uses pure force to hurt you. Sometimes you can even add an evocation effect like a fireball if you'd like. And it's usually encased in some kind of sigil behind the ward. So in case they break through the ward, they hit the sigil, it explodes. Kind of like Glyph of Warding in 5e. It's a very similar idea. So the wards reflect energy, but if the wards fail, if someone gets through the block, then there is this sigil that explodes. You can choose for it to be on non-lethal sigil in case you're worried about violating the first law, especially if you, like Dresden, live in a building that is full of people. He did not have landmine. He did not have landmine wards that exploded like radially. They exploded outward, so they would push people rather than because he didn't want to blow up the building. And they talk about that in the books, like how he doesn't have as big of wards as he could because he's worried about his neighbors. Because wards are thaumaturgy based, you can essentially pump as many shifts of power into thaumaturgy as you want. The book says if you are moderately good at being a wizard, which both of you are, aiming for legendary for wards is not a bad plan. Because it's a block, you want to essentially beat anyone's roll against them. So you set it up ahead of time, and when people go to attack, as long as they don't beat legendary, they don't get through the ward. Okay. Now, some wards can be worn down over time, as was the case with Dresden's wards. They were not set up properly, so they were just brute force attacked with a pile of zombies, and the wards came down. There's also the anchor problem with thresholds. Although Harmony, because you are in a home you're not in Andy's home with him, but the home that Andy owns, Andy has owned it for a long time. So unlike Dresden, Andy actually owns this home. He doesn't rent. And so the anchor point for both of you is a little bit stabler, is a little bit more robust. So you can actually anchor your wards easier than Dresden could because he was in a rental house.
Some safety in numbers there, I guess.
Yeah, so it behooves the fact that the two of you are living together. You can actually even chain your wards together so that you provide even more protection for each other, which is very helpful. And another reason probably why Andy invited you to live next to him, so he had help. So essentially, they're very robust force fields. And if you wanted to flavor them in slightly different ways other than just energy reflection, if you wanted to somehow flavor it some way else, or if you wanted to have some kind of like instead of an explosion, you wanted the landmine to be like puts people to sleep or something like that, you could also do something like that as well. So essentially,
I was thinking since Andy's sort of specialty is lightning magic, what if it was some kind of electrocution, like electric fence almost?
That could be, yeah, that'd be interesting.
That could definitely be. That could definitely work.
Andy probably would have asked Harming, like, what do you want your wards to do, so that we can figure out how to set up both. Like, we could kind of daisy chain them, I guess, a little bit.
I'm fine.
Like,
with,
we can have the lightning fence, but
yeah, I'm fine with like at its core, the outer layer sort of being energy reflection and repellent, essentially. But I think I definitely think behind that we need a fail-safe layer of something.
I agree.
So I would say maybe even 2 layers of fail-safe. So the first layer is something that is like puts them to sleep or otherwise neutralizes them in some fashion. Maybe magical manacles, or I don't know, something that's immobilize and neutralize, and then the last layer is sort of the electric fence. So
Sure.
that in theory, anything that's able to overcome 2 layers hits the more dangerous layer of the ward.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Very.
So what do we need to do, roll wise?
Essentially, what you need to do is perform a thaumaturgical ritual. So we determine the difficulty. So essentially, how much power are you pumping into your thaumaturgical ritual? And then we kind of go from there. So it depends on the complexity. And then if your complexity is greater than your lore, which if you're going to go for an epic if you're going to go for a legendary ward, yes, the complexity is better than your lore, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
You have to make up the deficit either by invoking aspects, making declarations, accepting or inflicting consequences into yourself, or skipping scenes. So essentially, you are out of commission for a while the rest of the Scooby Gang is doing things, and you are basically setting up wards.
So I do think we should go for legendary wards here, because I think we're gonna need them probably.
Agree. If we've got a Black Court vampire as the lackey of a thing.
Yeah. I'm more than willing to spend a fate point to invoke Child Prodigy on putting down wards.
Okay, so what does that bring your lore up to?
So do I just add +2 to my lore?
Yep.
Okay. So my lore is great, so that brings my lore up to fantastic.
Okay, so you're still too shy.
Can I invoke a second aspect? Spend 2 fate points?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll spend another one to invoke Guardian of the Cur tablet, since that's like the whole reason I'm doing this. And that would bring my lore to legendary.
To legendary. Okay. Wow. Yeah.
If Andy assists, does he give her a +1?
Well, I was wondering about, do I need to, if we're setting up a 2-layer ward, do we each need to do this? That's what I was assuming.
I'd say with 2 wizards setting up 2 different wards, yeah, and interweaving them together, yeah.
Okay.
You kind of need to set up your own thing, yeah.
That is what I had guessed. Well,
All right then.
my lore is superb, so I am 3 shy. I've got 2 fate points. So
Go for 9.
what's 9? What even is 9?
Legendary plus.
Yeah, legendary plus.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Legend.
know.
Wait for it. Dairy.
I'll tag Community Dad Wizard as for the aspect, like this plays very much into him helping protect one of his disaster children. The first one he adopted, even. That still leaves me 1 shy, though. That just gets me up to 7.
Using those fate points early, man. That's what he wants you to do.
Oh, I know.
Minor
I'm
consequence.
debating. Should I take a minor consequence instead? Maybe, but I don't know what it would be.
Exhaustion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're tired. You spent all night. You spent all night working on it, so you're going to be tired.
Okay. Sure. I'll take that minor consequence then.
Okay.
Is that a mental one? I guess
That's going to be a physical mental.
Physical,
okay.
physical
minor.
exhaustion. Yeah, there you go.
Physical exhaustion.
physical. So is it a mild consequence?
Yes, mild. Mild, major, or mild, moderate.
Severe.
Extreme.
Yeah, extreme.
Okay.
We don't want to burn you.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So I spent a fate point. So I have one left, and then I took the minor consequence of exhausted.
Okay. So you'll need a few good nights sleep to get rid of that physical exhaustion.
Okay.
The sleep debt must be paid.
Right. Oh God. So it'll be years.
See, Harmony gets by because she's younger still, so she can still do the all-night.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, Andy can't stay out as late.
Have I reached the age where like I need less sleep?
So you don't need to roll. Normally, you would also roll in this situation, but because there's no time constraints, there's no pressure. You might feel pressure story-wise, but there's no actual like deadline that you have to meet. So thematically, this will essentially work. It takes you all night. Harmony, you're a little bit more spry and younger, so you don't feel the effects of pulling an all-nighter. And he's like, I'm getting too old for this shit. And then there's this weird moment of dissonance where Sergeant Johnson and Andy say it at the same time.
Nice.
And yes, your wards are intact. They shimmer into place and held by the thresholds of your two buildings, your duplex, and seemingly your apartment is protected now by 2 legendary wards.
Also, I imagine Harmony has hidden the glyphs for the wards underneath like a welcome mat or something at the front.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's exactly what it looks like.
So I will ask before we move on. Now, you wanted 2 repellent wards, or did you want 1 ward and 1 sigil? Because the sigil is also a thaumaturgical based thing. Like the landmine is a different kind of thing. So right now, are you just putting up 2 repelling wards? So you repel, or was Harmony working on the repel and Andy was making the landmine taser?
We can do that if you want.
I'm asking. It's up to you guys.
Because what I was really proposing was 3 levels, right? The first level is force reflection. The second level is some kind of sleep or other neutralization, and then the third is the sigil and the.
Then maybe you could be working on those 2, and then Andy could be working on the Zappy, which is a bit more powerful.
Did you build those 2 inside the one you already had? Because that would be
here's the thing. I will say you are allowed to have a ward already in place. It probably wasn't as strong as legendary. We'll say it was fantastic.
Okay.
So if you wanted to then have the fantastic, a legendary sleep, and a legendary shock, I'll go with that. Okay. But with time involved here, you will have to do more thaumaturgy if you want to put 2 legendary and a legendary sigil.
Okay, so let's say then that we did the sigil and the second and the sleep layer to get the full 3-layer effect. And then the next time we have a little bit of downtime, I'll probably sit down and try to pump up the outer layer.
Okay. Yep, you definitely
have the sigil, I imagine, then is on Harmony's side of the house.
But do the whole thing.
Given that it's a duplex, yeah, you're gonna have to pick one of the entry points. So you pick Harmony's door as the entry point of breakage.
You can always replicate it later on your side too, once we have a little bit more time.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
if Andy, if you're doing a shock sigil, aren't you good with electricity? Do you have any bonuses that would help you?
I do for evocation.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
never
for
mind.
thaumaturgy.
Okay.
It's different.
Oh well. I was hoping to try and save you that consequence, but
I have a thing. I have a thing for complexity. I don't know what this means. Oh, when you get thaumaturgy, you pick a specialization and then a plus to something. Is that right?
Yep.
So mine says divination and then complexity.
Yep. So remember, you made that thaumaturgical map
that's
that
the map.
shows when
Yeah, it's
people
your
come
map.
through.
Oh,
So
right.
you took specialization in divination.
Yeah. Okay, that's right.
So
Oh, well.
that would help you for divining things, but
Right.
war
Right.
would have had to have been your specialization to be helped in.
Okay,
Thought
There you
I'd
go.
ask, try and save you that exhaustion, but
that's okay. It's all good. Now I remember what that is.
Now I remember how to play my character.
Yeah, I do need to. I did want to check my map at some point too, but I also wanted to have a scene with Harmony while we're making our words.
Go for it.
So at some point, while we're like Andy's like talking through what to do and things, we're like looking over your shoulders. You write out magical equations. So I know I mentioned that was Rashid, and that I would explain later more about who he is.
Yeah, who was that?
That is a more difficult question to answer than you might think. Rashid is a well-respected wizard at the council, and is also, he helped raise me.
Okay, so like a
After
foster
my-
parent sort of figure?
He sort of he helped raise me and also found wizards to raise me after my parents died.
So more of a guardian than a foster parent.
Yeah. But he and a few of the people he selected always made me feel, when I was growing up, like there was some sort of special purpose to me. Would never elaborate on what that was.
And did he visit
So-
time he visited?
Yes, he did. And I've been wrestling with that some since tonight. Well, I've been wrestling with it for years because I assumed he was lying for a long time. I know I haven't talked very much about it, but when I was your age, I lived in New York, and my head was full of this idea that I had been groomed for some purpose. Clearly, that was to help people, affect big change. I was a wizard, damn it. Anyway, to make a very long story, hopefully shorter, I got involved in something and tried to help, and something magical. This creature from the Never Never causing trouble. A building largely burned down during a fight. Killed the thing. It, of course, evaporated.
Of course.
Police show up. I'm alone in a burned down building. And then I go to prison.
You actually went to
And-
prison?
I had no way to explain what had happened. I had burn marks and, I looked very guilty, and I couldn't very well say, well, officer, I had been fighting with a monster you won't believe in, and also I can do magic. And the White Council left me there.
Assholes.
Yes. Once I got out, I came here. But that, in particular, made me feel like maybe there wasn't so much of a purpose to anything, much less me. And then Rashid just visited and explained. And I know why my parents died. And he's known this whole time.
And he didn't tell you?
No. It wasn't the right time.
You know, the more I hear about the White Council, the less I like everyone involved. Present company excluded.
Welcome to the White Council.
I mean, it's not like you're a child. You've been an adult for like over 50 years at this point.
Yes. I'm young compared to Rashid, I think. He talks about time in a very strange way. It makes it very hard to determine when Rashid is. But yes, he knew this whole time, kept it from me. I don't know how many others know, but he did. Apparently, my parents were assassinated by the Red Court. And they were trying to bring about some kind of prophecy that might have ended the White Council.
Did Rashid give you any kind of information on what exactly the circumstances of that prophecy were?
He quoted the prophecy, which, Adam, I don't remember exactly the wording now.
It was essentially something along the lines, and Rashid said he found fragments of the prophecy.
Oh, that's right.
He thinks the Red Court were trying to enact, but he's not sure. That it was something along the lines of, and for those that go back and watch the VOD, they're probably going to be able to correct me, but the well is the secret to stopping the plans to overthrow the White Court, or White Council, rather. That something to do with a magical well or wells, and that they can stop the plans to overthrow the White Council. And if the wells are destroyed, the White Council can be destroyed.
Right. Thanks, GM. So, if that interpretation is correct, I guess I'm a linchpin in the future of wizards.
Do you think
or something.
Do you think that has something to do with the war?
I don't know if it has something to do with the war or if it has something to do with Atlantis.
If the Red Court's involved, it's a bit strange because the Red Court kind of stays out of Portland.
Yes, they do, and we still don't know why that is. That was among the other things I wanted to ask Rashid, but he wasn't actually... I wasn't his only stop. He had other business. He was concerned about your visitor. When I explained...
Oh, which one? The Kemlerite or the
Yes.
vampire?
I mean, both, but when I mentioned the name Kemmler, it gave him pause.
Well, I asked Al, and Al basically, didn't give me a lot of information, but said that Kemmler was some really powerful wizard who is supposedly dead, and that his followers are like wannabe mini gods.
Great.
So, you know,
Well-
we need more problems.
Yeah. Speaking of problems, he also did mention that Warden Dresden is unavailable. So we're on our own.
Figures.
Something about a favor. I don't know. But, so yeah, we can't come with any help from him. He did, however, say that if more of this Gemler thing happens, that I should get in touch with him, or you could.
Okay.
So that's something that we need to pay attention to, whatever, among all of the other things that we have going on.
Yeah, like I need another thing to worry about, but I mean,
Yeah. Also, we are going to have some more leads soon, I think, about Atlantis and Dragonland and all of that.
did Rashid say something about that?
Yeah, kind of. I don't know what is going to happen, Harmony, but I know I am going to have to go there.
Okay, well, I'm not letting you go alone.
We'll see what happens.
Okay, but I'm not letting you go alone. Like, you realize that, right?
Yes, I am aware. Someone might have to stay here.
Okay, well, I didn't say it had to be me that goes with you, but I am not letting you go alone.
All right. Well, maybe we'll all get to go to Dragonland. Who knows?
God, I can't believe we're using the term Dragonland and we're serious about it.
I say Dragonland with as much seriousness as I would say we're going to Atlantis.
You've been a wizard for, you know, how many years, and things still surprise you.
Yeah.
Guess that
You're
comes with the
telling me.
territory.
You would think you'd get used to it. You don't, though.
You'd
If anything,
think.
it's more shocking that there's things you don't know about still. It's a little frightening. Anyway, so this lightning situation.
Yeah, so I think that's probably where we'll cut and go back to
Yeah.
fixing the lightning.
So Cole,
Oh, no.
You're muted.
Oh, you know the answer is yes. What's the question?
so it'd be a shame if something happened to your Fey ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, a shame, a shame,
So take your
such
fate
a
point.
shame.
Take your
Yes.
fate point. You get a call.
All
Your
right.
cell phone rings.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that burp, 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 burp.
Oh yeah.
Cole, I can't. You gotta help me. Help.
Where?
Doot doot. The line goes dead.
What happened?
And you
Detour?
recognize Melusines' voice.
Yeah, and caller ID. Unless she's calling on payphone.
She was
Crazy
not.
X.
Yeah, but all right. Look,
I have no qualms with, like, your business is your business. Do you need help? Do you want help?
yeah, probably since something's happening to her, she's probably being abducted by these people that are abducting Faye. So moving up in the world to water spirits, that's great, and we need to go.
Go.
Okay.
Drive.
Yeah, take us. You know where to go.
Yep,
We'll go.
I
I got your back, man.
So speaking of no, do I know where to go? The answer is actually Yes. You know that the White Court in Portland tend to hang out. I found it last week and now it's gone.
You mean the
What have I
Unseelie
done?
Court?
Yes, the Unseelie Court.
Fair enough.
Sorry, did I say the White Court?
You did.
Keep
You
saying
got
the
a
White
lot of
Court.
Yeah.
courts, and I just
I
want
got,
to
I
verify.
got, I got the Winter Court on the brain. I apologize.
I mean, we could just make an assumption and drive up to the White Court and say, "Where's his ex-girlfriend?"
What'd you do with my ex?
Hang on, let me. Oh no.
Deer something park? No, that was the.
That's not what I want. That's not what I want.
That was summer. Never mind.
Yeah, we didn't really see where Winter like congregated.
Oh,
She was the one who was summoned on the campus, right?
I
Yeah.
Make sure I know it's okay. Same person. Cool.
so you know they hang out in Scarborough Downs, which is an established horse racing area where lots of gambling and vices and drinking are happening. It's a few miles south of the city, but it's close enough where they it's still within kind of the Portland, greater Portland area. So you know it's probably actually, let's see. How far away does Google say it is from, not from my location, because that'll be days. Not days, but like 6 hours. So it's a 20-minute drive.
All right.
Cool.
We can get there faster than that.
Yeah.
I would like to use craftsmanship again to have a thing,
What kind of thing?
a weapon.
What kind of weapon?
Basically, 3-foot long pieces of iron rebar duct taped together with a handle.
Wow.
Coming in strong with that cold iron, bro.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not my fault that I can handle it and they can't. I'm willing to give this right back to you.
Yeah. I'll say absolutely. Abso-friggin-lutely. So easy enough to have that done.
Yeah, come at me with your magic sword, MFer.
And I'll say, because you knew this was coming and you knew stuff was going to go down, that you were ready, and so I won't even make you roll
Right.
your craftsmanship roll.
Yeah, basically I figured I just probably spot welded it together so it's not going to come apart.
Yeah,
And just
I'll say
tape for the handle.
Actually, you know what? Do roll me the craftsmanship roll to
Sure.
see, not that you have it, but how well you have it.
All right. Well, that's a -1 on the roll. Craftsmanship of 3. I'll just take the 2, I think. No, what? You know what? Maybe running from my past will make it a better, because I'm prepared for having to. So that'll
Okay.
drop me. That'll drop me down to 1 fate point. So that'll be fun.
Oh no.
Join the club.
I know. No, I'm bringing my own club. Thank you.
This is what he wants.
I don't know what you. How dare you speak accurately?
Hey, I'm fine. It's all good.
So
And
yeah, you will
Pilot in the car. We'll drive it like we stole it. Try and get there as fast as possible.
Yep. So definitely you have it. I will say it doesn't have the tag fragile because you put enough effort into it that it will survive several hits. Though if you want it to survive long term, you might have to give it some TLC every once in a great while.
Oh, that's fine.
So
Though honestly, it's 3 pieces of rebar with duct tape for a handle. If it breaks, I'll make another one.
yeah, obviously. Let's see here. So very quickly making a map, basically. So here is what Scarborough's Downs looks like, for those of the map view of it.
Neat. Yeah.
It's
Ah,
it's a raceway. It's a horse race track. It's got variable sizes, which is nice.
okay.
That might be important. It might not. Who knows?
Oh,
So,
I have a thought. All right, that's fine.
for the sake of this purposes, we'll do this. And very quickly drawing this map because so teat. All right.
While he does that, I'd like to note for the audience watching along at home that Google says Scarborough Downs is an established horse racing destination.
Yeah.
That's what I was chuckling about, because what would an unestablished horse racing destination be? Just someone's backyard?
Pretty
Hey,
much.
Not to get too much into Cole's background, but NASCAR started out as an unlicensed racing destination.
An unestablished car racing destination.
Basically, yeah. NASCAR started out as guys running from the law, bootleggers.
Moonshining.
Yep, moonshiners, souping up their cars.
So I am adding text to this map. I'm gonna stop because I can't. Fantasy Grounds has lots of power. This is not one of them. Quickly drawn maps. So this is our battle map.
All right.
Essentially, you have 3 zones. The parking lot is essentially a zone. It's a relative. It's actually, as you saw in that picture, it's two like big lots. But we'll just say the parking lot is one zone. But I'm assuming you're going to park your car as close to the track as possible. Oh yeah, I forgot the track. Technically, there is a track out here that goes this way and that way. And so,
Big zone 4. All right.
yeah, that out there is kind of most likely beyond the purview. As you pull up, you notice people are running and screaming and fleeing the horse track.
Oh shit. Okay.
Good. This is good.
You hear sirens as police are on their way. They're not here yet. You
That's
beat the
less
cops.
good.
That's less good. That means we have less time. All right.
Cole, do I need to change?
How long does it take?
Instantaneous. I'm asking you if.
Well, then
If
wait.
it's
It's
needed.
fine. If it's needed, do it then. You're good. If
I don't always have clothes on me, Cole.
There's a gift shop. We'll find you clothes.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
I'll pack a bag and throw it in the back of the car next time.
I always have my backpack on me. We're okay for right now.
All right.
So
You want to hand me the backpack and I'll carry it that way. It doesn't get torn up if you.
I'll just drop it. It'll be fine.
That's fine. All right. Cool.
You all, I'm assuming, get as close to the building as possible.
Are there those little posts that keep you from driving your car right up to the door?
I believe there are. Yes.
Oh well.
So you can get relatively close. There's definitely a few barricades here and there, but you see people just tearing out of this relatively nice horse track race destination. You see one person is running and they have a arrow sticking out of their shoulder and they're like clutching it and like kind of just drunkenly, though they're not drunk, they're in pain and they just don't know what they're doing, kind of grasping this arrow in their shoulder, like wide-eyed, like what is happening, like totally not
Shock.
at all understanding why they have an arrow. Yes, exactly. Shock and just like, I have an arrow in me. Like, what?
Hey, leave it in. Trust me.
Yeah.
So what would you all like to do?
Okay. So we're in zone 1, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we're moving.
Let's move right into zone. Melusine
Yeah.
is not here, then I'm going
No.
into zone 2.
Yeah, I'm following
Inside.
you. You're the leader in this situation because I don't know where Winter resides. So you know. So I'm following you.
Keep an eye out. There's no reason why they're not glamored. So
Yeah.
they're not going to be obvious. Except maybe they might have a bow, clearly.
I do want to point out for the GM, in case it affects anything, Percy has taken out his gun.
Oh, so as you take out your gun, there's a few people that notice you're coming in with a gun, and they're like, ah, like they're running, scared. They see a guy coming with them at a gun, and they're like, ah, and they keep like they kind of like side run away from you and the building, because they don't want any part of that either. They really don't want any part of anything that's happening right now. Everybody is unhappy. So let's see.
Percy, do you want to stick to the middle or do you want to take up the rear? I probably have the best sight than everybody, but I don't know where you're at comfortability wise. I don't want to be stepping on anybody's toes.
I'm gonna be real honest with you. I've not worked with many groups, so why don't you go ahead and go where you're most comfortable, and I'll follow your lead.
Okay, I'll just follow the pole then.
Here.
Yeah.
Let's just play it loose. We don't.
Yeah.
Plan's gonna
Flying
fall apart.
V.
Plan's gonna fall apart anyway.
As you transition,
Flying V.
as you transition into zone 2, you begin to hear footsteps, running, shouting, and you even hear the bark of a gun.
That's where I'm headed.
And you know that Winter maintains a private like skybox to watch the
fair
racing.
enough.
But the skybox is kind of in a location so that it can not only see the racetrack, but also humanity in its depravity of betting and gambling and drinking. It's like almost slightly kitty corner so that it can look out into the stands and things.
Sure.
And so you kind of run into this location, and you see 3 figures that look relatively Fey-like. They have bows out with a quiver of arrows behind them, and they have arrows knocked, and they're looking around for targets. They're approximately 3 feet tall, and they seem to be on the hunt for something. They see you running up the stairs towards them, and they go to draw arrows and are just going to start firing into you, presumably. You hear, as we're starting to get into combat now, above you, you hear more reports, like more gunshots go out, and then you hear a thunk, and you hear someone like fall down. So that's where we will start combat. With Nikki Anderson at an alertness level of 5 with the first to act.
Well, shit. I'm just debating on whether or not it's worth it to change right now or to wait. Yep. Okay. I shift.
I was gonna say.
It's.
I don't know if we're gonna any less chaos.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Stay puffed, wolf. Stay puffed, wolf.
Here we go.
Okay, so you strip in the middle of.
Oh no! I just change.
Oh, you just rip through your clothes?
F these clothes.
I'm not worrying about it right now. Okay.
Okay.
Here we
So
go.
your action is to shift. Are you gonna move at all? I'm assuming you're moving. You're like closing in with the elves essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, so that will be you.
Yep.
All right.
Moving
well,
closer. Yep.
Now it's the elves' turns.
Yep, because they're fast as hell.
Yes. Yes, they are. So, you watch all three of them disappear.
I was gonna say higher than my alertness.
Well, you will have to roll discipline or deceit on your turn to see through their veil.
Okay.
Because they are veiling themselves.
Okay.
Let me just check something here. Okay. And okay. So that's those three that you see.
God damn it.
Or those three that you saw. Other stuff happens. Percy.
Yes. So, is rapport what I would use to try and say we're on the same side? Question mark. Because I'm trying to make that like first impression type thing.
Yeah, but that's a lie.
Oh, see, Percy doesn't know that though. Percy legitimately doesn't know who is good and bad in this situation because he knows nothing about the Fae. So he sees Fae-like things, and there was a Fae-like thing stolen, and he's like, well, why are they attacking us?
He believes it's true.
Is it a lie if I believe it?
I will allow it.
All right. Let me make sure. Would Percy know that these are not good? Like, would he get that feeling?
They shot a
these are-
bystander.
You would get that these things mean you harm.
Okay, and it's not because they think that we're here to kidnap Faye. It's that they're just
Yeah,
bad.
I would say that Percy has seen enough stuff to know lookouts and rear guards when he sees one.
Okay, so I will change what I am doing then. Let's go and shoot. That seemed. Oh wait, I need to discipline, or what was the other one?
Discipline or deceit to see through their veil.
Well, let us use deceit.
Since you tanked your discipline or your deceit.
I have a discipline of 1. I don't know why, but I have it.
You're so much more disciplined than I am.
So that is even on dice for a 2.
You see one of them.
Can I still take an action?
Yep.
Okay. What is the floor that we have right now?
You're basically like on a concrete floor that slopes downward slightly. So these are like the stand areas where people go and sit under the covered shade to look out on the horse track.
I was hoping it was dirt. Okay.
No, you're up in the building. So there's the concrete, then there's the slanting away from you, and then like to your left it slants down into the stands, and to your right is where the betting kiosks are and the concession stands, and you can see that there are a few people like cowering behind them, and you can see a few arrows like sticking in the countertop of the kiosks and things, as if arrows have already been fired at these people.
Yeah, I'm thinking here that ranged versus elves with bows is not great, so I'm going to close the distance and tackle him.
Okay.
Or her.
Go ahead and roll me an athletics check.
Okay. Can I use my fist to improve that at all?
Yes. You have fists, so you may use fists.
Okay. I put these dice back and use these dice. That is an even on dice for a 2.
Unfortunately for you, the elf is more athletic than that and is able to push you out of the way as you come at them.
Okay. Would A fate point changed the outcome of this.
So, yes.
May I use an environmental aspect of the slopes that you described to tap that to tackle him, making it easier to tackle?
I will allow it, but now you are kind of rolling down the hill.
Perfect.
And if
I
you
have used the fate point.
if you tag an environmental aspect for the first time, does it cost a fate point?
I will say he discovered it by tagging
Fair
it.
enough. Fair enough.
All right. So you have him tackled. So I will say that he is immobile. He's pinned, and that basically gives him a minus to try and do anything ranged this turn. And if people would to try and attack him while he is pinned, they will have a +1. All right. Excellent. That leads us to Cole.
Mm-hmm. So it's deceit to overcome this veil?
Deceit or discipline?
All right. Here's what I'd like to do with Seelie Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Is outline them with a nice blue St. Elmo's fire. Overcome that veil.
Sure.
Using, hopefully, deceit.
So, you are spell casting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like sponsored magic.
Mm-hmm.
So, the DM has to remember how sponsored magic works.
Page 290 is where the magic is.
That's where the magic happens.
That's where mine is, anyway.
Okay. So these are not. This is not against winter, so it can't do anything to affect them like that. Like it can't like degrade their toughness values.
I don't want to do anything to their veil. They'll be just invisible elves surrounded by blue light, so everyone knows where they are.
So this is like you are an evoker.
Mm-hmm.
So how many shifts of power are you going to put into your spell?
It doesn't take much to create light.
So I will say this: you are trying to beat their veil.
Mm-hmm.
So the shifts of power you're going to need is to go past their veil.
Okay. Let's. I have no discipline, so that'll be fun. But I also don't care about backlash, so.
Yeah, what's your conviction?
Oh, also 0. Oh no, 1. 1.
Okay, so you're gonna take a hell of a lot of mental stress.
That's fine.
So how much power are you putting in this bad boy?
4.
4. Okay. So you're gonna take 4 mental stress?
Sure.
Okay. So that means you're taking a mild consequence?
Yes. We'll take a mild consequence.
Wouldn't it? Oh yeah, never mind.
And then I'll mark a 2 box, and that's fine.
Okay.
Anyway, let's see how I do. All right, that's a +1 on the roll and a +1 on conviction, so that's a conviction of 2.
Discipline. You need to roll discipline for this.
Oh, discipline of 1 then.
So, are you doing anything with fate points?
Saving it.
Okie dokie. So your spell. Wow, that was
My spell. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm the one with the accent here. Thank you.
clearly. I guess it's been one of those days.
Well, hell.
Well,
Your spell has either backlash or fallout.
Fallout's
So-
the one on the environment, right?
Fallout's the one on the environment, and fallout makes it less effective. Backlash means you absorb the energy into yourself and the spell goes off the same strength you want it to. However, you will take the shifts in damage physically or mentally. It's your choice.
Well, I've got some physical as well. I don't mind. Let's call it backlash.
Okay, and you rolled a 2 on your.
I rolled a
discipline
1.
roll? You rolled
1 on a discipline, so it's 3 points.
So 3 points of physical damage.
Yep. I have a stress box for that. I have
The spell goes off, and you guys all now see all 3 fairies, all 3 elves rather, are outlined by this blue St. Elmo's fire as it does in fact pierce their veil. That's 4 is what you needed. Okay. Getting spicy in here. We are back to the top of the round with Nikki.
Well, now that I can see them, do I need to make a?
Nope.
Okay. Then I can't see. They all have bows, right? They all had bows.
Yep.
Okay. I just attacked the nearest one that isn't tackled by Percy.
Okay.
I attempt to tackle the next one.
Go for it.
So that would be.
So wait. Are you tackling or are you trying to knock these people out and do damage?
I'm trying to.
eat them.
Yeah, I should be the advantager. You should definitely be the damage dealer.
Okay. Yeah. I'll just fist them.
Yep.
I will fight them. Okay. So I just roll fists.
Yep, you're gonna try and dodge you.
That's a 2 on the dice, with a good of 3, so that's a 5.
They rolled a wash, and they have a +3 to athletics, so that's a 3. So you beat their athletics by 2 shifts. So you normally do 2 damage,
Yeah.
and so you do 4 damage.
Hell yeah.
You beat them by 4 shifts, or you beat them by 2 shifts. But your teeth don't seem to sink into the elves with the same level of crunchiness that you had hoped.
Well, makes sense anyways. It's not iron. I don't have iron teeth.
You do not have cold iron teeth.
Yep.
But you have definitely wounded one of these elves. They appear wounded. Anything else?
This is gonna sound weird, but can I make like a intimidation? Try to just like make them back off.
Normally you would have to do that as a maneuver rather than spending your action to attack. So that is something you could try to do on the next spin round. But unfortunately, your attack is what you did. So elves 1 through 3, who are now glowing in St. Elmo's fire, see this and they target the person holding on to the St. Elmo's fire. It's not like concentration, but you were the one that revealed them, so they're going to come after you. And they notice a changeling when they see one.
Also iron, so.
Get it.
Yeah, and you're also holding a big-ass cold iron bat, which is not, their favorite thing in the world. So the one will... No, you know what? They don't want to get anywhere near you, so 2 of them are going to try and shoot you, and then one of them is going to try and deal with Percy.
I am sure I am just radiating friendly right now. Yeah, yep, I'm over.
So one of them makes a superb attack against you, Cole.
I believe it's athletics to dodge.
Athletics to dodge.
All right. Well, that'll be a good result, +3. So I guess that's 2 shifts plus whatever weapon rating it is.
So their weapon is 2, so that'll be 4 damage.
All right. So looks like another mild physical consequence.
Okay. The next elf will shoot at you, despite the fact of being attacked by a crazy werewolf. That's a 1 and a 2, so that's another superb attack on you, Cole.
Son of a gun. All right. Well, that's a 2, so that's 3 shifts. All right. I guess.
So you want to take another consequence, or do you want to try and re-roll, or do you want to add +2, get it down to 1 shift?
I think I'll have to do a +2.
Okay.
And
what aspect are you invoking?
looking for a good out. I want past.
You want past them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
This is not my. I'm kind of trying to dodge forward.
I appreciate that. Okay. So that will only be 1 shift then, right? Because that brings you to a 4? Or does that bring you to a 6?
That brings me to a 4. So it's still 1 shift. Which
So still 1 shift. So you still take 3
I can
damage.
take. Yep. Okay. So that's you know what? Maybe I shouldn't, because that's still going to be a moderate consequence, one way or the other.
Oh, then if it's still going to be a moderate consequence, then yeah, maybe you shouldn't. You should just take the moderate consequence.
I just take the moderate consequence. Yep.
All right. So you're going to take a moderate physical consequence. Our first moderate consequence of the game.
Yep.
Brought to you by Sealy on Sealy Crime. And so what is this going to look like? Probably an arrow to the...
Well, first one, just in the
To the knee,
shoulder.
obviously.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Sorry. I was waiting for it.
I mean, you could do an arrow to the knee. Yes, you could.
That sounds like a severe consequence. Obviously,
that
I have to
sounds like-
quit being
Yeah.
an adventurer.
Yeah. I was thinking more along the lines of this arrow actually like goes into your like shoulder, and so kind of limits your range of motion, and you will have a difficult time swinging that cold iron bat at people.
Well, I'll have difficulty because they're going to tap that consequence.
And then the other one is going to try and wiggle out from underneath you, Percy. So that is an athletics check of 4, I think. So, yes,
So
4.
may I use my endurance to continue pinning them, as that is a physical check?
I think that endurance only is what it basically gives you your physical fortitude.
Long-term action, physical fortitude.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's more long-term things than like.
Yeah. So if you want to
Okay.
use your athletics, might or fists.
Fist would be the one then.
Okay.
To try and continue this pin. So they got a 4. I got a wash, which brings me to a 2. However, I do have. You know what? No, I'm gonna let him out. I'm gonna save my fate points.
You're gonna let them up.
Yep.
Okay. So they untangle from you, but that's their whole turn.
Okay.
Which brings us to you.
Question:
Mm-hmm.
Is there iron in a gun?
100%.
I'm going to pistol whip this creature.
Yep. So I'll let you use weapons or fists with this, since you're kind of like holding it in your hand.
Okay. That's a wash for a 2, which is apparently the only thing that I can roll.
Ugh.
I know that feel.
Oh, unfortunately, he rolls a 3 on the dice with an athletics of 3. He zips away from you and your gold iron shenanigans. He
No.
wants no part of that.
No. This is the one I wanted to use the fate point on. So, I would like to use a hard life of partying to say that I have hit many a people with many a thing, and am able to swing at him before he is able to get moving. Probably in the process of him like wiggling out, I'm able to kind of.
So you want me to re-roll my +3?
So you had +3
I have a 6.
You have a 6. So this would require 2 fate points then.
Make him re-roll.
Yeah, make him re-roll.
+3 is kind of an outlier.
Yeah, go for it. Do the reroll. I can still use another fate point if I need to.
I mean, he might still beat you, but
So that instead of being fantastic drops to a 1 plus 3, which is a great.
which is still 1 higher.
Yep.
But now if you spend another fate point to actually pistol whip him, you will beat him by a shift.
Okay. I'm going to say that he also tripped on that slope that I discovered earlier. And I am able to catch him as he is falling before he can get away.
So you beat him, and your weapon is cold iron, so you bypass his armor. So his armor does not absorb any of the attack. And he takes a harm. Or a physical damage. Sorry, I've been reading too much Powered by the
Yeah.
It's fine. Percy has to do a lot
Dresden
of work to get
World.
1 damage in there.
So yeah, he is now his cat. You've caught his catch, and he's hurt. All right, Cole, you're running to the next zone, or you're running up the stairs.
Will that get me by them?
Yeah. They
Yeah,
are.
next-
They kind of got scattered when you St. Elmo's fired them, and a werewolf charged them, and then Percy kind of took one out, so you could charge past them.
I hate to leave you guys behind, but actually,
Do what you gotta do, man. You're
Go.
selfish. Do it.
Go.
You're selfish. Remember, you're selfish. I'm okay with this.
I know, but if friends are an anchor, I might get a fate point out of it.
But you also might get a fate point for going after your ex-girlfriend.
Already got a fate point for that.
Well, that's why I'm here. Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, friends are an anchor. Give. I'm sticking with. That's all right. Fair enough.
I will compel you.
Yep.
You have
Fair,
been
I
compelled.
will. I'll take it. And nearest elf, I want to beat senseless with a rebar baseball bat.
So there are 2 near you. There's the one with messing with Percy, and there's the one messing with Nikki. The other one's a little bit undamaged and kind of far away.
Yeah. I think the one that Nikki's messing with doesn't have cold iron on him, so I think I'll go for that one.
Okay.
As a supplemental action, because I have inhuman recovery, I'm getting rid of one of those mild physical consequences.
Yep.
Because I can do that.
Unless I hit you with cold iron.
Yeah. But I'm betting that they aren't shooting cold iron arrows.
They're not.
I'd love to see them handle those. It's like it's one of those. Where is Melusine? While we do the thing. So you swing the bat. Man, all right. That is. That's terrible. I'm a horrible fighter. That's going to be a result of 0. So he's going to have a no problem. I was going to basically come out there. I'm emotionally distraught, and I'll just miss.
Yeah. He rolled the wash, but he has a 3
Athletics,
dodge.
yeah.
So he ducks out of the elf ducks underneath you, or you just kind of swing too high, remembering at the last second that these elves are actually shorties, and kind of you're maybe even starting to tear up a little bit as you're like you grunt that out like, "Where's Melusine?"
I'm emotional. Nikki, can I make a recommendation?
Sure. Almost couldn't.
Create some advantages. Put some tags on this guy, like tripped or on the ground or whatever, because then we can tag
That's why I was
them.
going for. Yeah, that's why I was going for tackling him, but I'm also like, I can do damage also, so
That's fair. If you can do both, then that's great.
I actually had a plan. Yeah, I got something in mind.
I'm good.
So back to you, Nikki.
Can I specifically basically bite at his leg or ankle to disable him in that way? So basically, just try to get almost the tiny little shit dogs who just go after the ankle biters. They just go after your legs and just rip it to shit. That's what I'm gonna try to do.
You could try to hamstring him and make him immobile.
That's what I want to try to do.
Yeah. So this would be a fists roll, but instead of trying to do damage, you are trying to essentially put an aspect on him that can be tagged.
Yeah. Here we go. So that's a 4.
He meets your attack, so unfortunately fortunately for him, he is tagged. But if this will be a fragile aspect that can be tagged once, but then it will go away. So you nip at his back leg to try and catch that hamstring, and you don't quite get it. You definitely hurt him and wound him, though the armor of his natural sealy hide keeps him from being very hurt. But you can see he kind of limps away from you for a sec and is in a uncharitable position. He's not looking good. Tactically he's not in a great position.
Okay.
All right. So for the elves, one of them will actually run up the stairs away from all of you. And the other one will turn its bow on the wolf because the wolf seems scary.
He's scary. You should be scared.
Yeah.
So that is...
Be scared, be very scared.
That is a superb attack as it fires a bow into
oh shit. Okay.
Almost point blank.
Dodge like a mom.
Yeah. So this is a athletics to run away,
Yep.
correct?
Athletics to dodge out of the way.
So the guy that left was the one that wasn't Percy's or Nikki's, correct? Got it.
Okay. So I'm gonna use a fate point to so that's gonna be future alpha that I'm invoking. I'm down to 2 fate points. Let's try a different dice now. That's a wash, so that's a 2.
Okay. So he beats you by quite a few shifts. So he beats you by 3 shifts.
Yep.
So normally you take 2 damage plus 3 is 5 physical damage.
Holy shit. Okay. And that's into endurance, right?
That's into your physical pool. Yes.
Does your
Yeah.
form give you any armor?
Not that I know of. At least not.
Not yet.
No. I'm working on it. So my endurance is fair, so that takes some of that. So I would take 4 damage. Is that correct?
So no. So the way this works is you're taking 5 physical damage.
Okay.
Your endurance is fair, so that means you have 2 stress boxes.
Okay.
So you have 2 physical stress boxes, which means you're taking 3 more stress than you can handle.
Right.
Wait, her endurance is fair?
Yeah.
She
Because
should have 3 boxes.
Or 3 boxes. I'm sorry. 3 boxes. Yes. So you have 3 boxes. So you're taking 2 more stress than you can handle.
So I'm just gonna take a mild consequence.
So if you take a mild consequence, it eats up.
Mark your 3 boxes.
Yeah, mark your 3 box, and those other 2 get eaten up by a mild consequence. I'll say you are, a flesh wound. You're kind of a little basically it shot you in the leg, and you're kind of a little limpy now.
Okay.
Might not be able to be as fast as you normally used to.
Okay.
I'm dumb. Cole's got a leather jacket. It's armor 1.
So yeah.
Oh well.
Oh well, indeed.
We'll deal with it. I'll remember in future.
And the other elf is going to try and knock you out, Percy. So he's just going to pop you in the head with his bow. Not going to go very well.
Bad dice. There we go.
1. And I don't think he actually has anything. Yeah, so he's just gonna try to pop you in the head with a 2.
All right. I'm gonna keep him away with the gun, like waving it.
Yep, he's like,
Okay. I got a 3 total.
you definitely beat his attack. It doesn't seem like they want to kill you. They just want to stop you from doing things. And another elf somewhere else does something that you guys don't know. Well, he runs up the stairs. All right, back to you, Percy.
Oh, I'm real concerned about that other elf.
As soon as we get through these elves, we can find out what's up.
All right. Continue with Operation Pistol Whip. Hey, it's a +1 on dice for a 3.
So you guys are having a hard time hitting these pokes. So
They're
that's
quick.
that's a 4 to dodge. Would you like to do anything?
Do I get the +1 for the cold iron?
I do not believe you get +1 to your roll. You just get to bypass their catch.
Yeah,
Got it. Okay, I didn't know how that worked. So, wait. Okay, I don't really have anything that I think would help here. So Percy's going to continue languishing here, trying to do something.
Okay. Brings us to Cole.
Mm-hmm.
So the elf that is currently in like back and forth with the two of you and Nikki, has a fragile tag on them that you can invoke.
Let's hope I roll well enough that I don't need to, but chances are good I will. Oh, +2. So that is an attack of 3. Yeah, let's go ahead and tag it. And I'll take a +5 attack.
So roll to wash for a 3. So that's 2 shifts, and you're using your bat.
So that's weapon 2.
So it's a weapon 2. No armor because you've just defuncted his thing. So that's 2 shifts.
Wait. I got a 5 versus
You got a
his
5 versus a 3.
3. So that's 2 shifts.
2 shifts
Plus weapon 2.
That's 5 damage. Or it's 4 damage.
Mm-hmm.
And he has no ability to take armor. And so he checks off his 4 box.
Well, he has a 4 box. That's annoying.
Yeah, unfortunately. But you get the sense that he kind of reels, and that if you or Nikki clock him again like that, armor or not, he's going down.
All right.
So he looks rather ragged. Which brings us to Nikki. Hit him again.
Yeah. I'm just gonna hit him again.
Eat him.
Yeah. Set him up.
Yeah.
Tee him up. I will T-ball this little 3-foot tall.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. Yeah, I'm just gonna do damage. I'm just gonna do damage this time.
Fair enough. Yeah, take him out.
That would be 3. Gotta wash on my dice because they're being shitheads. That's a 3.
So he rolls a 2 on the die with a +3 athletics. That's a 5 to dodge.
God damn it.
Dang it.
They are sneaky, dodgy little shits.
All right.
Okay.
So now it's elf o'clock. The elf will. What will the elf do? So let me look at something here. The elf will. No, he won't. Yep, he'll keep attacking you for reasons. For reasons. Oof. That is a fantastic attack coming at Nikki.
Sorry, what attack? I was reading.
+6.
A +6? Holy shit. Okay. I'm gonna roll to not take as much damage. Woo. These dice are shit. Yeah, that's a 2 against a 6. Is that what you said? I'm hurting.
So, let us talk about being taken out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You can concede, right? You can be taken out in a manner that is you're not just knocked out, right?
Right.
So that means you have to give up something, and you have to essentially withdraw from the fight and not be able to help anyone anyways. Or you could try and eat up a consequence and keep going. So this is kind of up to you. And your party is also able to advise you in the best course of action.
Since I don't know Fate really well at all, I am open to suggestions.
Well, 4 damage, right? Is what you're looking at.
Yeah, which moderate consequence would eat. You haven't taken one.
Right.
But that gives them 2 tags, right?
Well, right. If you concede, the plus side of that is that you get a fate point for each consequence that you have, which is at least 1.
Right.
So we'd meet you back out in the parking lot and you'd be up a fate point. Or you take the moderate, concede the beginning of next round, and then you get 2. Or don't concede and be hurt at the end of all of this.
And for someone who is less knowledgeable in fate, when you concede, consequences don't go away, correct?
Right.
No,
Right.
no.
You get your fate
reward-
points, but you still have to live with the consequences of what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I
But
thought.
you're
Just want to make sure.
But you're just up
Yeah.
some fate points, yeah. I can't. I have got to keep
I know.
going. I'm getting until I drop. That's at least I mean, the GM can keep pinging my aspects to keep me in this fight. That's fine.
My only 2 cents, I guess, is you've said Nikki is like the Dresden of our group.
I have described her in that way.
I mean, it's up to you, obviously, but
Yeah. I gotta
I mean-
play the character. She'll take the consequence.
Okay.
I would say, yeah, just keep setting him up. I mean, you've got the fight and the ability to create advantages and spin him around because you're more athletic.
Yeah.
Okay, so you will take a moderate consequence
Yep.
to eat that damage.
Hmm.
We will say now that
Pulled a muscle? I don't know.
No, that's not a moderate consequence.
That's fair.
You
Depends on the
are you're not bleeding.
This will leave a scar.
Concussed?
Well, he's using arrows, so
Exactly.
I will say, aha. There is an arrow inside of you, and you probably can't shift back to human until you get it removed.
Okay.
Oh, fun.
Plus the damage of being shot with an arrow. Because
Okay.
you're not sure when you shift back how it's going, where it's going to be in your human body, and it might not be
Right. Okay. I will write unshiftable.
good. So that'll be fun to deal with later.
Yep. Hmm.
Just hold still.
Especially when I already had plans too, and now, yeah. Hmm.
Now the other elf is going to try and take out Percy. Except he rolls way worse and only gets a 2 to attack. Or I'm sorry, a 3. +3 attack coming at you, Percy.
All right, trying to
Come on,
roll
bud.
here. Hold on.
You can do it. Yes!
Hey!
Oh,
It's a 5 total.
super
Dang.
defense. Super
Not
defense.
enough for spin, though. Dang it.
Unfortunately, not. But you very easily get out of the way of this arrow because he switched to arrows because he saw that trying to beat you in the head with his bow is not going to work. That brings us to Percy.
Okay. Is Percy smart or dumb?
You tell me.
Percy's smart.
I think Percy's smart.
I think Percy's smart.
I think Percy can super be dumb if he needs to be.
I think Percy's going to go and tackle the one that just attacked Nikki out of emotion rather
All right.
than be smart
Yeah.
and take on the one that's right there.
Yeah.
Roll fists.
Okay.
Are you tackling him to put a aspect on him?
Sure am. No damage, all aspect.
Figured.
Thank you.
So that's a +2 for a 4.
So he rolls. That's with 1, and he defends with a 3. So he also rolls a 4. So you are able to tag him with an aspect, but it will be fragile.
A boost.
If it was
And-
not
and-
fragile, he would have to roll to get out of it, correct?
Well,
And
if
that
it's
would
not
eat up
fragile,
his
it'd be
entire
hanging
turn.
around, and we could keep tagging it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Has
Nah,
the
I'm
other
gonna
one
let
already
it-
been tagged?
Yeah, I'm going to let it be fragile.
Okay.
That's fine. So tackled, fragile tackled.
So he's kind of knocked down. So basically, he's like knocked down prone. So he's easier to hit. So free tag for perhaps Cold Trickle.
That is the plan.
And I think Percy will yell Nikki. Like, just, Nikki, no! And then run over and shoulder tackle this shape.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
St. Elmo's fire
it's,
shape.
yeah, it's like a hollow person with a fire outline. It's really kind of weird.
Yeah, I can't aim for their head.
So you,
Big idea.
it's up to you, Cole.
All right.
Kick his ass.
That's
Do it.
the hope. All right, +2 I can live with. So it is attack of 3 with a boost for 2 more. So attack of 5.
You take this elf out.
Hell yeah.
Do you kill the elf or do you just knock him out?
Just knock him unconscious.
Okay.
I'm,
You just like, boom, and you hear like this sickening. You know that you didn't kill him, but it still sounds like you just hit this guy with rebar. It still hurts. Like it's still like you're just
Good
like,
old
it's still a
thunk.
cold iron baseball bat. Yeah.
yeah. And you see like his skin sizzle where the rebar touches.
It's bar fight. And I'm just gonna
not great.
take it. I'm just gonna take the whole thing and point it at the other elf.
All right. That brings us to Nikki.
I'm gonna run upstairs and start going after that other elf.
Ah, okay. So you run upstairs. So you transfer
Okay.
zones to the upstairs into the box.
Oh shoot!
Cool.
This is Nikki, man.
Yep.
I know. No, it's good. It's good.
Kick Nikki.
So what you see is 2 elves, one of which is still surrounded in St. Elmo's fire, so you know that it's the elf that ran upstairs, and another elf that you didn't know was here. Like I said, it looked like these 3 were playing rear guard. And you see a woman whom Cole has described before,
Mm-hmm.
having dark black hair, relatively nice looking, and she is laying crumpled in a corner with 3 arrows sticking out of her chest and just unmoving in the corner. The elf looks as you come up the corner, gives a smirk, and then runs and jumps off the balcony, falling down towards the track. And the other elf with the Elmo's fire is still there.
Okay. And I think that's just like, is that my whole action or do I have anything else I can do?
So if you want to take an action, because you just moved to zone. You can, but it will be at -1, whatever you do.
Okay. So I'm looking at my sheet for conflict actions. Can I just do full defense?
Yep.
Awesome. I will do that.
Okay.
Way if they-
So you get
way
a
if
plus.
they shoot at you.
You get a +2 to your defense.
Yep.
And I will take out one of the elves because they essentially ran away. And one of the other elves is already taken out because you knocked him unconscious. You have a prisoner. The last elf, who's not knocked out, well, the last 2 elves. One will shoot at. Well, no. What will he do?
1.
He will try to run away. Oh, and he rolls a -3, so he doesn't do anything. And the elf with you, Nikki, who's up there, pulls the bow and then just takes off running the same way the other elf went. And
God
jumps
damn it.
and lands somewhere down on the track. And you know that you are like 50, 60 feet up. Like, so you're a good distance up, and these elves just jumped out of the balcony and went through the air. So you're not really sure where they went. That drops us down to Percy. This elf looks like he's trying to get away from you and kind of is not doing
Succeeding.
well. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna kneecap him with the gun so he
Okay.
can't run away, which would be not for damage, but for
Yep. Setting it up. Roll fists.
a -2 for a 0.
Unfortunately, he rolls a 3. Well, he rolls a wash with a +3, so he dodges out of your kneecapping.
Okay.
That would actually be a success with defense with style, so he'd get a boost, wouldn't he? Or is that am I thinking fake core?
Well, and he's not trying to do anything to you, so he's trying to get away. So that leaves us with Cole.
Guy's gonna try and get away.
He looks like this elf's running.
Let him go, and I'm gonna go upstairs.
Okay, so we'll drop out of combat because the rest of them ran away.
Yep.
And Cole, you run upstairs.
Yep. And
You see Melusine laying crumpled in the corner, cell phone still clutched in her hand,
mhm.
as there are 3 arrows in her chest.
Okay.
And as the scene kind of unfolds, you see other fey creatures, and you also kind of, as you come upstairs, like you're stepping in puddles, and you're realizing you're stepping in ectoplasm of dead fey.
Okay.
And as you are upstairs, and Nikki, you were kind of a little bit too out of it and too incensed. You see Melusine's chest rise and fall slightly. She has not turned into ectoplasm, so she is not dead
Okay.
yet.
Mm-hmm.
I look to Cole. I can't
Um,
communicate easily. Let's just go with that.
Right. Sure. I'm not paying attention to anyone but Melusine at this point. I probably barely see Nikki at all, and I'm gonna go straight there and
Okay.
just kind of drop the rebar a foot or 2 away, and what skill would give me information about her condition? I don't have any doctrine.
Investigation, maybe?
the closest thing I've got.
Investigation, or I would say if you were decently trained in fists or weapons, you might have some idea
not.
about how that
I
works.
have like a 1 in fist. I wouldn't call it decently trained.
Okay, so yeah, we can say investigation,
I've got a 1 in that too.
unless you have any kind of scholarship. I didn't think so.
Schooling, whatever.
So
If I wanted schooling, I would have gone to school.
roll your investigation if you want. Interesting.
I mean, I've got my, I've got some space. I think I'm willing to take the time to rest up and heal up. So it's an evocate. It.
How would this work? Let me think. I know what you want to do.
Yeah.
I know what you want to do. So, Puka are known to be healers, right?
Healers, tricksters, yeah, that kind of thing.
You lose a point of refresh.
All right.
It's easily done.
Whoa.
Is it a permanent point of refresh, or until the next?
Oh yeah. Losing a.
He is a change. So for those of you at home not understanding what's going on, Cole is a changeling. Cole can tap into his Fey side to grant him supernatural powers.
Mm-hmm. That puts me 1 point closer to the change.
And if he ever runs out of points of refresh on his character, he becomes a full-fledged Fey and becomes my character. He becomes an NPC.
Mm-hmm.
So this is essentially me offering a bargain that you can definitely do this if you give up a point of refresh.
Oof.
It's your Fey ex-girlfriend, man.
The key
I have
part
choices.
there is X, but
But friends are an anchor. I know that's been tagged already. But
no, that's
While you're making this decision,
This is less about tagging an aspect, and this is more about Cole making a changeling decision. This is
I know.
This is a
Yeah.
unique to Cole problem.
yes.
So what
And-
what was the question going to be, Nikki?
Oh no, I was just going to say that Nikki is laying on the rebar and just kind of whimpering a little bit because she got hurt like bad. But she can't communicate in any other way. So
Okay.
just thematic. That's all.
Yeah, I'll take the deal. Mm-hmm.
So what you see?
Character growth.
I'm guessing, Percy, at this point you walk upstairs and you see this scene. You're kind of like, oh god. You watch Cole's hands begin to glow with a vibrant and quite warm just glow. And he reaches forward, he puts his hand around two of the arrows and pulls them out slowly. And you watch as the radiance cascades down the arrow shafts into Melusine, in which you see Melusine go as the energy starts to kind of coalesce all across her chest. And as you watch this warm, radiant energy, you notice a bit of blue start to sneak up the shafts of the arrows and kind of coalesce and start creeping up Cole's arm and into Cole a little bit as summer and winter mix. Not always a great idea. And you watch Melusine's eyes pop open as she looks up into you, and they are usually very human looking, and right now they are blue orbs of just pure darkness. They are very, very dark blue orbs that seem to be crackling with energy, and she seems to be like basically reaches up and grabs your hand, and like is just holding it and holding it and holding it, and she's shaking. She's, "You came. I knew I could count on you. Go." And she kind of like slumps over, breathing much easier than she was a moment ago, and seemingly alive. And that, I think, is where we will take a very short break, because we kind of ran over our normal break time because of decisions. And we will return very shortly, despite the fact that Zero Logic just joined us. And we will see what the Wizards got up to while the posse ran to Scarborough. I mean, serious face. So we'll be right back. And we're back. The team Elfite has recovered and are heading their way. During the break, we discussed that the Puka Changeling now has acquired a new supernatural ability, which we are labeling Puka Protection, where Cole can essentially draw out consequences from the people that are not him into himself, inflicting the consequence on himself, and he has to recover from it normally. However, if he spends a fate point for a moderate consequence or 2 fate points for a severe consequence, he can recover from it because he took inhuman recovery as part of being a changeling. He cannot fate point away an extreme consequence should Cole ever decide to try and eat one of those. That might go badly. We'll see.
Not saying it won't happen.
With mild consequences being relatively easy to get rid of, and so we'll just say that he can absorb mild consequences without much issue. So
I was going to say, if I do it frequently, a lot for like people, it could be a Puka protection racket.
So while Team Elfite was getting into their hashtag Elfite, wizards were just finishing setting up their lovely wards, which are not at all in danger or anything like that. And as they stop for the night/day, because it took all night, Andy, what does it sound like when your thaumaturgical alarm system for crossing over goes off?
I'm thinking like original fire alarm, like a bell.
Like a
Ding, 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 ding.
So
he's too old for it to be a little voice that says, "Hey, listen. Hey, listen."
Yeah.
So that bell goes off once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, and it continues like that. So it goes ding 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 ding, and just like almost constantly.
I just
And then it
stare at
stops.
Harmony a second and then just bolt for the second.
That
So,
alarm needs a snooze.
If I am in Andy's apartment with him, which maybe.
I would say that it makes sense that you guys are kind of relaxing together and kind of going over the notes of where maybe you could make adjustment towards later, and it's
Then
kinda
I will go after him, like right on his heels.
So where do you keep this thaumaturgical symbolism?
Well, so the upstairs, like there's thinking it's like a 2-bedroom upstairs situation. There's like a master upstairs and then a smaller one. So when Harmony moved next door and I had to move my lab from that side, it turned into, most of my lab is in my office. So the map is like one wall pretty much
Okay.
of that office.
And how does your map like update itself?
I mean, Andy's old, so
Mhm.
I would guess it looks sort of like a hand-drawn atlas map
Cool.
of the city.
And what do the intrusions look like?
The intrusions look like ink spinners at the points where it thinks someone's crossing over.
Okay. So, as you bust into this office with this map that's being constantly updated, you see in the southern part of the city near the racetrack, there are a bunch of X's all around there, like a dark smattering of like multiple crossings have happened there. You also see a bunch of crossings happening in Parkside. In fact, in Deer Park of Parkside.
Does Andy know who lives in Deer Park?
No,
Okay.
but Harmony, you know where Summer is currently because you earned Summer's ire, so you know where to stay away from.
Yeah, I do. I know exactly what part of the area to avoid. So I probably, when I see that, I probably just go, oh no.
What is it? Do you know something about this?
Yeah, well, and I tap Deer Park on the map. That's where Summer hangs out.
Currently.
Currently.
Oh.
And as you're standing in the room and having that conversation, the bell goes off again. And now that you're in there, you see more crossings happening at Mackworth Island.
Is there a lighthouse there?
There is not.
Okay.
I don't know what that. Do I know that Scarborough is winter
Mm-hmm.
at all? I do.
I would say that the both of you know that. So, Harmony doesn't know Scarborough is winter. Andy will. Andy will also know that Mackworth is where the summer retreats to after the change of the season and winter takes over. Because essentially, Deer Oak Park is where the court is held, whomever is in season. So when it's during the summertime, the summer fae hold it. When it's during the wintertime, the winter fae hold it. And Mackworth Island is where the summer fae retreat to when they are no longer holding Deer Oak Park. Just like Scarborough Downs is where the winter court retreats to when they are no longer holding Deer Oak
Are
Park.
we watching? Is it the equinox? Are we watching the transition of the courts?
You realize that it's not quite the equinox. The equinox is actually tomorrow. But you're
No,
watching
it's-
crossings happening at all three locations where the courts.
It's too early for the equinox. Something else is happening.
So
All at
somebody or something stirred all of the fairies up, like sticking a stick in an anthill.
And they're responding in numbers. This is bad.
So when you count the number of people at Scarborough Downs, you get about 5 crossings, and then as you're having this conversation, you get about 6 to 7 crossings in the park, and about 6 to 7 crossings on the island.
No,
And then as you're having this conversation, the Scarborough Downs lights up again, but 4 instead of 5.
Something's going on.
do we want to go take a
Okay.
look?
But where do we go? Yes, but I don't know which place to go.
I hate to say to go to Deerside Park, or Deer Park, right? Deer Park.
Deer Oak Park.
Deer Oak Park. But that's the closest
Closest.
one.
Why do you hate to say to go there then?
Well, Summer doesn't like me a whole lot, and I'm a lot more comfortable talking to the Winter Court.
Harmony, what did you do?
Okay, I didn't. It's Cole's fault.
Okay, what did Cole do?
He took some job for Summer, and he found this wild fae tree thing and brought it to me and asked for my help figuring out what it was, and then we decided to return it, and Summer didn't really like that, and so they sent people after us, and I may or may not have used some magic to defend myself, and now Summer doesn't like me very much.
Great.
I get along just fine with Wild Fae and the Winter Court, but
Deer Oak Park is closest.
I mean, I'm not afraid to go. Well, I mean, I'm nervous.
How mad? Okay. Well,
I don't
maybe
think they'll kill me on sight or anything, but I
Oh,
don't.
good.
I don't think they would attack on sight, but I also don't think they'd be real pleased to see me.
Okay. Well, we don't have a boat, so we can't get to the island.
Well, do you know how to open? That maybe not be a good idea. Never mind.
Open a way?
That was gonna be the end of that sentence.
Yeah. Do I know how to open a way?
I don't know, do you?
I assumed that was a GM question. Sure, why not?
Are you or are you not a wizard?
Andy's been
I
here
mean,
for a
I
long
am a
time.
wizard.
He ought to know the ways
Yeah,
around
I guess,
Portland,
yeah.
right?
He probably knows a couple, but he does not want to use them.
That's probably smart.
Well, that just means he's not an idiot.
Means
What's
he's
the
not
worst
Dresden.
that could happen?
Spiders!
Oh, there's a lot worse than spiders that could happen in the Never Never.
I know. That's just always the line, right? Yes, I can do that. I would really like to not. So let's go to Deer Oak Park and we'll be on our best behavior and then go to the horse track.
All right.
I love that you guys can't have cell phones.
I know, right?
so
I was just thinking we should contact. Oh wait, we can't.
So as you
Definitely go there second.
as you head to Deering Oak Park, I just looked it up. It's actually Deering Oak Park. I'll say maybe for the sake of the narrative, the Team Elfite tries to call your house. You guys have left.
After you've left, yeah.
You get our voicemail.
Because that's just funny. It's actually you'd have to use an answering service because a voicemail would die.
Oh,
I was
that's
gonna
true.
say, there's no way at least Andy has a voicemail.
So it's not hard to get to Deering Oak Park. It's not very far away from where you live. Portland, the city of Portland, is relatively nicely sized, so it's easy to walk. And if you want to take a car, you can take a car. If you want to take a cab, you can take a cab. Though that might not end well.
Probably
I don't
why.
really want to kill a cab. Yeah, probably walk.
So your walk, it's a brisk walk. It's a windy day, and so it's a little cool. So you kind of like to button up a little bit. The breeze coming off the ocean is a little cool. It's at that time of year up in Maine. The fall wintry kind of season is in the air, and you make your way to Deering Oak Park. And you see sirens and cars and Mars lights already spinning. And as you get close, go ahead.
I was gonna say, can we pretend to rubberneck, basically?
Yeah, you guys. There's a group of people watching.
Yeah, we just joined the group of people.
And you overhear some people saying, "How was it? It was like a mountain lion or something. I don't really know. It was weird. I heard screaming, but there's nothing here. I think it was just some prank." And the cops are basically not cordoning off anything. They're just questioning people because they were called, apparently. But you don't see anyone stopping people from walking. There, people are just looking around. There's no cordon. So if you wanted to keep walking in Deering Oak Park, you could.
I look over at Andy. Keep going.
Yeah. I'll go in and then realize I don't really know where in the park Summer is. So.
You know approximately where they hold court, where the courts hold court.
Okay. Make our way there, I guess. or that direction. Keeping an
I'll
eye
let
out
Andy
for...
lead because I don't
Yeah.
really want to be here.
Sure, that makes sense. You make your way into Deering Oak Park towards where you know the Fey Courts hold their court, and they are in charge. And you come to what looks to be an old hedge maze. And I say looks to be an old hedge maze because it also looks like it has seen the business end of a weed eater. There's damage to the maze. There is what looks to be like some kind of viscous fluid covering the outer edge of the maze. And for two wizards on the prowl, y'all know what ectoplasm is when you see it.
Something
What do you do?
bad happened here. This was a terrible idea. Is anyone still here?
Do you say that out
Andy-
loud, or
Andy says, just kind of to the area. Anderson Wells is asking if anyone else is here.
silence stretches for that long and you don't hear anything?
So no. Or at
Well,
least no one who wants to talk to us.
yeah. Do we know what? Probably not. Why would I? Hedge maze?
Yeah. Other than the ectoplasm, is there any kind of sign of what happened here? Like any odd objects that have been dropped, or
There's singeing to the bushes, almost reminiscent of someone throwing fire.
okay, makes sense.
There are bronze and silver weapons laying on the ground in some spots and near some of the pools of what you know to be ectoplasm.
Weapons. They
Are any of them small enough I could grab one and put it in my messenger bag?
Sure. Easy enough to do. It's still slightly coated in ectoplasm, but you know that's not an issue because it will eventually evaporate.
Yeah, it's just kind of...
Yeah, I guess hedge maze.
I don't really know where else to look.
Looks like
Do you head in? You head into the hedge?
I guess, yes. Yes, we do.
Yep. All right, Adam, lay it on us.
Sure do!
Phrasing.
You head into the hedge, and as you kind of get into the hedge, you realize that it's kind of one of those weird fey-y shenanigans. It's bigger on the inside than on the outside, and it is just a scene of carnage and destruction.
Oh boy.
There are still decomposing into ectoplasm bodies laying here and there. There is what looks to be a malk that has been pierced several times with bronze blades, also decomposing into ectoplasm. And you see a scene of utter destruction, and it doesn't look like anybody's moving.
Other than the
This-
mulk or mulks, are there any other signs of the winter fae here?
Nope.
So, Andy, I don't think this is actually a winter attack on summer.
No, I don't either. Not if...
We know the mulks were captured, and you said that some of them attacked you at the lighthouse, right?
They attacked Siobhan, but yes, and why would someone be... Someone is trying to start a war.
That's what it looks like. That the mulks that they're sending here are framing the winter court.
Which means whatever was happening on my map means this happened to summer too, and they got them at the island and at the racetrack. Probably using
Wait.
whatever summer fae they're capturing.
Wait a second. Didn't Cole, and correct me if I'm wrong, you didn't share this, but didn't Cole say that the summer court had elves disappearing too?
So someone's specifically capturing Malks and elves.
And brainwashing them in some fashion and then sending them to attack the opposing court?
But why? And how is a white court vampire involved?
Well, if
And-
you wanted to start a war between the fairy courts, there'd be no better way. They're already
But-
not very inclined to trust each other.
Yeah, I get that, but why? What is the gain here? What does this party get out of sending winter and summer to war with each other? What are they distracting us from, or what are they trying to cause?
Okay, let's think that through. So if you caused a war between winter and summer
You
here,
throw the elements into imbalance potentially.
would they leave Portland? If you wanted them out of the city?
If you kill enough of them, maybe, or they might just respond in more force. It depends on what else is going on.
Okay.
There's another whole other war happening right now
Well,
that I'm
Are-
sure they're involved in somehow.
GM question. Do we know that the winter court and the summer court are providing aid, quote unquote, to the White Council in the form of passage through the ways?
You would absolutely know that.
Okay. Do you think if they went to war that they would stop letting the White Council use the ways?
I don't know. It would maybe some of them.
Because that could maybe be a reason.
Especially if you are fighting the White Council and you want to limit how much they can move around in a
Exactly.
never.
And on that note, there is a giant as storm clouds are suddenly appearing above the city of Portland. Almost as if by magic.
No almost in this game. Is it obvious enough that we go, magic?
It went from being bright and sunny outside and cool and windy day to overcast
Thunderstorm.
day, and a thunderstorm is rolling in all of a
So
sudden.
we just have that moment where Andy and I look at each other and then look up at the sky and go, shit.
And it's rolling in two different directions, one coming in from Canada and one coming up the coast from the south,
Oh no.
as the storm is hitting and starting to
Oh
swirl.
no. Andy, do we need to go? Oh god, I really don't like this suggestion, but I'm just gonna say it. Do we need to go talk to someone in the court, a lady, a queen?
Yes, probably. Yes. We need somebody. We need someone to. Oh, God.
Okay, so here's the thing I should probably tell you. And I show Andy my ring.
What is that?
It's a means of contacting Winter.
Who does it call?
Well, last time it called Melusine, who's apparently Cole's ex. But I don't know if it will call Melusine every time or if it's capable of calling other Winter Fae.
Okay. All right. We need to talk. We should probably talk to Summer too, but we need to talk to Winter.
I mean, we gotta talk to them both, but at least we could try to talk to someone in Winter now. And then I
Yes.
look up at the sky and I'm like, I think now's probably, as soon as
Now
possible
it's
is
gonna-
good.
Yes, Yeah. Yep.
I will go. This seems like a really bad idea, but I will go ahead and use the ring to call on Winter and see who or what answers.
Oh God. I love how Adam's just eating this up. Like,
He's like, yes, my wizards are making bad decisions.
yeah.
I need to look something up real fast.
Oh no.
Oh God. The Queen of Air and Darkness shows up.
I
Oh,
will just
good!
fall out of my chair if Mab shows up. We will be in so much fucking trouble.
Right? Andy will die of an aneurysm if that happens, probably.
I'm just over here flipping my shit because I figured out the solution, but I can't say shit right now. So I'm just gonna be over here mute.
Great.
Yeah, I'll say she's still okay. Yep.
Oh no.
So you summon your ring. And you're like, and you hear this, and a whiteout happens. You are suddenly surrounded with snow and ice. And stepping out of that snow and ice is a woman beyond beauty, beyond darkness. Cold white hair pulled back, angry, fiery eyes looking at the two of you, and a Malk sitting next to her. And it says, "What do you want?" The Malk talks, not the woman. You have summoned the Queen of Air and Darkness.
We seek to prevent war and death.
We come bearing a warning.
She looks up at the sky as it starts to, like, the wind is picking up harder and harder, and it starts hailing, not landing anywhere near the three of you, but you can see it hailing out, and you see people like running for cover, and like, oh my god, like tornado sirens start going off. Though in the East Coast they don't really have tornado sirens because that's what they use to summon their volunteer firefighters, and it freaks Midwesterners out. All of you East Coasters, just so you know that.
It's not Tuesday.
Yeah, that was real scary moving to the East Coast for this Midwesterner. Anyways, so yeah, sirens are going off, but it's like moving. You can kind of only barely hear it. And this Malk continues to talk. Warning would be good. What do you want? Warning of what?
Someone is setting you and Summer up to attack each other. Malks have been going missing for the last several weeks. Elves have been going missing for the last several weeks. And I sort of gesture around us at the carnage. We know that the Malks, that something is being done to them. I doubt.
Presumably. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say. I kind of avoid making eye contact with the Queen, but I say, I would not presume to know your mind. But I ask you to ask yourself: did you order these Malks to attack Summer?
You are correct. You do not have to answer and know our mind. But Summer will never believe.
The same thing is happening to them. Elves have been going missing, and I believe have been made to attack Winter here. Summer, I think, knows that this is, at least they know that they are missing their kin.
We're trying to figure out who is responsible. We know at least one White Court vampire was involved.
Many of the forces are not here. You have 5 days.
Thank you.
Thank you. That is generous and gracious.
The stone table is being assembled.
The stone table.
Yes.
Does Andy have any idea what that is?
Or Harmony.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
We have faith in wizards.
She's gone.
Andy just like falls to his knees, probably.
Harmony's far behind. We're just having a mental breakdown in the park right now. Well, Andy,
Oh, Daniel, you just
Oh,
muted up.
cut out. I don't know what you said. You muted out.
sorry, my audio is being so weird tonight. I said, well, Andy, I didn't lie. I told you that the ring was capable of summoning Winter Fae.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it is. Oh, God.
That's
yeah,
not
it
what
is.
happened last time.
You mean Cole's ex-girlfriend isn't Mab?
No.
Yeah, you should say that name 2 more times there, Andy.
Yeah, and he is more in shock. That's a 5 days. We have 5
We have
days
5
to
days.
figure out
Okay, great. Deadlines
what's-
are good.
going on. We still need to contact Summer. You don't have a ring that summons the Queen of Summer too, do
Yeah,
you?
no, I have a feeling the Queen of Summer would feel a lot less kindly to me than the Queen of Air and Darkness does.
Yeah, fair enough.
So no.
Oh.
But I mean, do you think we can like hire a boat?
So you both know you
Yeah.
can get to the island without going off land.
Oh,
It has
okay.
there's a road that goes down to it.
Okay.
Okay. I think we're gonna find something similar there, but we may as well check.
Well, we ought to at least deliver the message. I mean, maybe they'll be inclined to at least share some additional information. Maybe.
That's if anyone is there at all.
Well, that's
If it's like what happened here, it'll be a bloodbath. Okay, well,
well, we ought to at least try to deliver the warning, and then we're gonna have to figure out how we
avert a war.
avert a war and figure out who is doing this, and get proof that we can present to the Queen of Air and Darkness.
Yeah, and potentially the Queen of Summer and maybe the Lord of the White Court here in Portland, and who knows who else. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Meanwhile, somewhere along the coast of Portland, a woman steps inside of a lighthouse. There is a struggle. The struggle does not last long. There is a flash of blinding light, and the woman leaves the lighthouse. And within moments, there is an explosion, and the lighthouse comes tumbling down into the ground, seemingly destroyed. In another part of Portland, on an island, accessible to bridge, lay the slain corpses and ectoplasmic remains of many, many Fae, as per guest of Andy and Harmony. Stepping through a way, is Lily and Fix. the Summer Night, and the Lady of Summer. Looking over the dead and dying, and stepping through the portal with them are hundreds and hundreds of soldiers of summer. In a small room outside of a major hospital is Nikki being treated by a resident AMT that gets paid way too much to do way too much. All the while, the question remains, why is a war between summer and winter being started? I guess we'll have to find out next time on the Dresden Files.
Damn it! Damn it!
Ah!
All of
Damn
you
it,
may
Adam!
all of you may mark a significant milestone as well as a major milestone.
Ooh.
Ooh, wow.
Wait, say that again. Significant
get-
and major?
You get a significant milestone and a major milestone. So you get both.
Oh, next session's going to be very interesting then.
Oh, God.
Hoobala. What's that?
When I said that, I was kidding.
And Percy, you
Hi.
felt the ripple when the Fae stepped away
Mm-hmm.
through the way. You felt
Yes.
it. And Manny was watching when it happened. So. All right, y'all. just a simple night in Portland.
It's never a simple night in Portland.
5 days.
I love that my favorite part of this is every single week we wind up absolutely freaking flabbergasted while Adam is giggling. That is the last 2 minutes of every single episode of this show.
It's
I'm
true.
just so upset I'm not there because I know I have the pieces together in my brain.
Well, you
But-
have theories. You have no proof.
I have no proof. I have theories, but that's how all Dresden books work out.
You gotta find the proof.
You got to find
Yeah.
the proof. Now you got to find the proof.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We will return next week as
Not a werewolf.
we'll be down a werewolf, but we'll be up a vampire. So who knows?
Fairly even trade.
We appreciate those that came along for the ride. We love you greatly. I am, and hopefully will be for much longer than the rest of the season, your GM, Adam. You can find me at Adam_J_Pearson. I talk about nerdy things like role-playing games and geology and world building and things like that. Feel free to stop on by and poke me. I don't know, poking doesn't happen anymore. That's old Facebook. That's how old I am. I will let my ineffable cast and introduce themselves or reintroduce themselves, sign out, and let's go with the favorite moment of the night as a good oldie. We'll go in reverse order with CJ.
Hi, I'm CJ Hunter. I am at Commander Pulsar on Twitter and Twitch, and I play Cole Trickle, the puka in the sort of middle adjacent of all this madness. And I think, honestly, I'm going to be selfish and say favorite moment of the night was having to make a difficult decision and come that much closer to deciding whether or not I'm, because he can still just walk away and say, screw all these powers and I'm going to be a complete human for the rest of my life, which would increase my refresh a lot. But I'm going to ride that edge for a little while. Yeah.
Become a man of the cloth now. It'll be fun.
Sure. Yes.
I'm
That's
really
it.
interested to see where Cole winds up at the end of this season.
Me too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I have ideas and plans. I may talk to Adam after. Anyway, that's
Danielle, moving on.
Hi, I'm Danielle, aka Harmony Ward in this game. You can find me at RyRackandTor on Twitter, where I talk about nerdy stuff, games, movies, TV shows, writing, anything of that nature. You can also find me posting about all the other awesome games I'm in, including this one, but also including Dungeons and Deductibles, which is also here on Variant Rolls on Wednesdays at 7:30. And I have a finale next week on Scraticus's channel for the Choir of Elements on Tuesday at 6:30. So if you want to see them, there's going to be a big showdown at the center of the elemental planes. One of them is carrying the soul of a dead giant rock. It's really cool, I promise. And favorite moment tonight, it's accidentally summoning the Queen of Air and Darkness. I don't know how I could not.
Queen.
Yeah.
Like
the fact
what?
that I have a direct line. That's not gonna backfire horribly for me at any point.
Yeah, there. Like I said, I had to Google something real quick. There's a few reasons why that happened, but for those in the know, they might be able to suss out why. But yeah.
I have a suspicion, but I'm not gonna share it. We'll see if it pans out.
Me too.
Continuing on to Zach.
Hi, I'm Zach. You can find me at Zagorals on Twitter. If you've been watching, know that you regularly can see me and Andy both collectively losing our shit here just all the time. My favorite moment. There's so many good moments. There's always so many good moments. The moment that freaked me out the most was Matt showing up. But I think my favorite moment is still Cole's decision because of how impactful that is for him and will be, I think, for the rest of us when he tells us what happened or we find out what happened and what that means. That is not that Mabstring doesn't have this, but that I feel like has a lot of meaning and will have a lot of meaning for all of us.
Awesome. Continuing to Selena.
I'm so sad I won't be here next week. Hi, I'm Selena. I'm at AVCDFAR on Twitter. I don't do anything besides this. So, my favorite moment, I think just piecing everything together with the White Court and Summer and Winter is my, at least finally figuring it out and being like, oh, I have all the pieces. I can't tell anybody yet, but okay, I have that now and I have to sit on this for a week. 2 weeks, actually. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm so happy. It'll be fun. I'll miss you guys next week. I'll definitely watch the VOD when I can. And yeah.
Excellent. And we can talk a little bit about how just because you're sitting out for a week doesn't mean your information has to sit out for a week. Just
okay.
We can chat.
Awesome. Yeah.
Last but certainly not least, I said Percy. Nick.
I am Nick and not Percy.
Yes.
You can find me on Twitter at 2KNick, TWOKNIKK. Also, you can find me on Twitch. I ran 2 seasons of Masks, and they are all available to watch in the backlog at Roll4Change. So there's about 20 to 25 hours of viewing for you if you would like to go do that. My favorite moment, as much as the decision was big, I very much enjoyed Cole being serious. Not for the first time, but this is definitely the most serious Cole has been in this entire campaign. And it was very interesting to see that character growth / reveal.
Very cool. Yep. Cole's getting anchored almost. Awesome. Well, we will be back next week. Give a shout out to the people that make this game. This is the game we are playing, Dresden Files RPG, Evil Hat. They just had a successfully Kickstarter, Aegon, which should be a lot of fun when it comes out. They make really great games. They like our tweets. They retweet our tweets, which is, makes us happy. and we love them because they made a really great game with, of course, Jim Butcher, who made this whole shenanigans happen. We will be back next Friday. I'm sure everything will be fine.
No.
Stay musical, everyone. And is it Friday?
No, it's not. Not soon enough.
Good night.
Bye.